Every morning between 6 and noon, the human body faces one of its most dangerous hours, a time when strokes strike silently, claiming thousands of lives each year. According to medical statistics, nearly half of all strokes occur during these early hours. The reason isn't only genetics or age, it's hidden in small, seemingly harmless morning habits that most people never question. These quiet routines, repeated day after day, can either protect your blood vessels or push them toward the brink. For seniors, the stakes are even higher. After a night's rest, the body awakens with thicker blood, lower hydration, and fluctuating pressure. The heart must suddenly work harder to circulate blood to every corner of the body, and if that process is rushed or stressed, the risk of vascular rupture rises sharply. Yet while this danger hides in plain sight, it remains largely ignored because the habits feel so ordinary. Think of how the day begins for most people. A sudden stretch out of bed, a dash to the kitchen, perhaps a quick glance at the phone, and maybe a salty breakfast. Each of these actions, innocent on their own, can quietly add tension to an already vulnerable system. What feels like just another morning may actually be the moment when the body faces its greatest challenge. But there's hope, and it lies in understanding. Today we will explore the 5 hidden morning mistakes that can silently trigger strokes, and how ancient Japanese wisdom offers practical ways to reverse them. This isn't about strict rules or radical changes. It's about subtle adjustments rooted in balance and self-awareness. In Japan, where life expectancy is among the highest in the world, mornings are treated as sacred. Instead of rushing, people often begin the day with calm, intentional movements, gentle hydration, and mental grounding. Their habits reveal a truth long overlooked in the West. The way you start your morning determines how your body will respond for the rest of the day. By studying their routines, we uncover strategies that protect the brain, stabilize blood flow, and calm the nervous system. In this journey, we'll go beyond common health tips and dive into the body's delicate morning physiology. Why certain habits spike blood pressure, how hydration affects clot formation, and how stress hormones rise within minutes of waking. Every chapter will open a new window into these hidden mechanisms and reveal how small actions can make the difference between vulnerability and resilience. As you listen, think about your own mornings. Do you leap out of bed quickly? Skip a drink of water? Check the news before taking a breath? These little details are not trivial. They are signals your body feels deeply, and by recognizing them, you gain the power to protect yourself. So, let's step into the quiet hours of the day and expose what really happens when the sun rises. The answers may surprise you, and they may save your life. In Japan, mornings are not a race against the clock, but a gentle invitation to align the mind and body. The Japanese word asa no jikan, morning time, carries a quiet reverence. It represents renewal, clarity, and the balance between effort and peace. For centuries, this culture has understood something science is only now beginning to confirm. Health begins in the first hour after waking. The average Japanese elder doesn't wake to a blaring alarm or a rush toward coffee and screens. Instead, they rise slowly, allowing circulation and breathing to stabilize before the day begins. This unhurried start is guided by principles deeply rooted in tradition. One of them, ikigai, means a reason for being. It reminds people to begin the day with purpose rather than anxiety. Another, hara hachi bu, advises moderation, stopping before excess even in habits like eating or exercising. These values, woven into daily life, form invisible armor for the heart and vessels. Modern research supports what Japanese elders have long practiced. Studies from Tokyo Medical University reveal that blood pressure variability, the quick jumps and drops in pressure, plays a crucial role in early morning strokes. When the body is suddenly forced into action, vessels stiffen and narrow, raising the likelihood of rupture. Japanese lifestyle patterns, which emphasize gradual awakening and consistency, naturally reduce this pressure volatility. Contrast this with a typical Western morning. The alarm rings, adrenaline surges, caffeine floods the bloodstream, and screens flash with headlines. The body, still transitioning from rest, is suddenly thrown into fight or flight. In these moments, cortisol, The stress hormone spikes, heart rate climbs, and blood pressure follows. For younger people, the body compensates, but for older adults, the response can be catastrophic. The morning becomes a battlefield hidden behind routine. In Japan, public health initiatives even encourage citizens to adopt slow mornings. National television shows guide viewers through light stretching, deep breathing, and short moments of reflection before breakfast. There's no obsession with doing more, only with doing things correctly, in harmony with the body's rhythm. This cultural mindfulness helps explain why Japan has one of the lowest stroke mortality rates among developed nations, despite an aging population. It's not about perfection, it's about attention. Each movement, each sip, each breath is a choice that influences blood flow, inflammation, and nervous system tone. What Western medicine calls preventive care, Japanese elders have practiced intuitively for generations. As we move forward, this lens will help us reinterpret the 5 hidden mistakes not as simple errors, but as signs of disconnection, moments when we ignore the body's quiet requests. The next time you wake, try to notice: is your breathing calm? Do you rise too quickly? Do you allow stillness before the noise? Because in the next part of this journey, we will uncover the first and perhaps most underestimated danger that begins the very second your feet touch the floor. When the alarm sounds and the eyes open, the first instinct for many is to stretch, to reach high, twist, or bend after hours of stillness. It feels natural, even healthy. Yet for seniors, this very action can become a silent trigger for vascular strain. The moment the body moves from rest to sudden motion, blood pressure can spike dramatically, and in those with fragile arteries, that surge may be enough to cause serious harm. Imagine this. During sleep, blood vessels relax, heart rate slows, and the circulatory system enters a gentle rhythm. Upon waking, the body needs time to restart its engines, to redistribute blood evenly and stabilize pressure. But when someone leaps out of bed or performs deep stretching immediately, the sudden gravitational pull forces blood downward, demanding the heart to pump harder and faster. This abrupt pressure shift can overstretch delicate vessel walls, increasing the risk of rupture, particularly in the brain's smaller arteries. In Japan, mornings look different. Movement begins softly, in silence. Elders often start their day sitting upright for a few moments, rubbing their hands together to warm them, then slowly rotating wrists, ankles, and neck. These small gestures are not random. They awaken circulation gradually, allowing the cardiovascular system to adapt without shock. This practice reflects the principle of Shinshin Ichinyo, the unity of mind and body. When the body moves gently, the mind calms, and the vessels follow. Science supports this approach. Researchers from Osaka University observed that abrupt stretching or standing in older adults led to brief but significant increases in systolic blood pressure. Conversely, those who began their morning with slow, progressive movements maintained smoother vascular responses. The body's internal barometers, sensors in arteries that regulate pressure, react better when given time to adjust. Western routines, however, tend to ignore this subtlety. Fitness culture often promotes wake-up workouts or morning energy bursts as signs of discipline. But for individuals over 60, these bursts can become hidden risks, especially if done before hydration or gentle mobilization. The goal is not to avoid movement, but to understand timing. A few minutes of calm sitting, slow shoulder rolls, or simple breathing before full stretching can dramatically reduce cardiovascular stress. This idea mirrors how Japanese elders honor transition. They do not rush from stillness to motion. Morning exercise programs broadcast across Japan like Rajo Taiso begin with soft arm swings and torso bends synchronized to slow music. The rhythm invites the body to wake without alarm, teaching balance rather than intensity. If the body could speak, it would whisper the same advice: move with patience. For seniors, this patience preserves not only mobility, but also safety. The first movement of the day should never be a jolt. It should be an awakening, both physical and mindful. And as we continue, another hidden risk emerges, one that begins not with motion, but with what's missing: something as simple, yet as critical, as water. While movement can strain the morning heart, another danger hides in something far quieter: the absence of hydration. After 7 or 8 hours of sleep, the body awakens slightly dehydrated. Blood becomes thicker, circulation slows, and the heart must pump harder to move it through narrow vessels. For younger people, this may cause mild fatigue. For older adults, it can turn the early hours into a high-risk window for stroke. Dehydration increases the blood's viscosity, making it more likely to form clots. Combine that with the natural morning rise in blood pressure and heart rate, and the danger multiplies. Many seniors begin their day without drinking a single sip of water, waiting until breakfast or even later. Some go straight to coffee, a mild diuretic that removes even more fluid from the body. It's a habit that feels normal, but for an aging circulatory system, it's like trying to drive a car with too little oil. Adding to this risk is a growing wellness trend: cold showers upon waking. Advocates claim they boost alertness and improve circulation. While that may be true for younger, healthy individuals, for seniors, the sudden cold shock constricts blood vessels, forcing blood pressure to rise sharply. For arteries already stiffened by age, this abrupt contraction can trigger a vascular event. In contrast, Japanese mornings follow a different rhythm. Instead of rushing into cold stimuli, they begin with warmth, both literal and emotional. It's common for elders to start the day with a cup of warm water, green tea, or even a small bowl of miso soup. This gentle hydration not only restores fluid balance, but also slowly warms the digestive system, supporting blood flow and metabolism. In traditional medicine, warmth symbolizes life and flow. Cold represents stagnation. The science aligns. Warm fluids help expand blood vessels, improving circulation and easing cardiac strain. A study from Kyoto University found that older adults who consumed 200-300 milliliters of warm water upon waking showed better blood viscosity profiles throughout the morning compared to those who didn't hydrate. The simple act of drinking before moving reduced their risk markers for clotting and high pressure. It's an easy, powerful form of prevention, and yet it's often overlooked. The Japanese phrase asa no mizunomi means morning water drinking, and it's passed down through generations. It isn't treated as a medical command, but as a natural ritual, a quiet moment of self-care that honors the body's need for balance after rest. Before stepping into the kitchen, before stretching, before checking the phone, this single gesture can reset the entire circulatory rhythm. Hydration steadies the pulse, softens the blood, and prepares the brain for the day ahead. But once the cup is empty, another decision waits. One made at the breakfast table, where flavor often hides its own danger. For many, breakfast is a moment of comfort: the smell of toast, the taste of eggs, the familiar crunch of something salty. Yet beneath that comfort lies one of the most underestimated threats to vascular health: sodium. After hours of rest, when blood is already thick and pressure naturally rises, loading the body with salt becomes the perfect storm for a stroke. Morning is the time when blood pressure reaches its daily peak. Consuming a high-sodium meal during these hours can amplify that surge dramatically. Processed breads, instant soups, cured meats, and even healthy cereals often contain more sodium than one might imagine. For an older adult, the cumulative effect can be dangerous. When sodium enters the bloodstream, it draws water into blood vessels, increasing volume and tension against arterial walls. Over time, this morning ritual silently erodes vascular flexibility. In contrast, traditional Japanese breakfasts tell another story. Instead of processed foods, they feature a delicate balance: a bowl of steamed rice, grilled fish, miso soup, and lightly seasoned vegetables. While miso contains sodium, it's countered by potassium-rich seaweed, tofu, and vegetables that help regulate blood pressure. The Japanese concept of washoku, harmony in food, ensures that flavors and nutrients work together rather than in conflict. Meals are smaller, slower, and more mindful, giving the body time to adapt to each taste and texture. Science supports this wisdom. The Japan Public Health Center study, which followed tens of thousands of adults for over a decade, found that people who consumed balanced, low-sodium breakfasts had significantly lower rates of early morning hypertension and stroke events. Even modest sodium reductions led to meaningful improvements in vascular elasticity and heart workload. In Western countries, the trend toward convenience has reversed this wisdom. Instant oats flavored with syrups, ready-to-eat sandwiches, and canned soups make mornings fast but physiologically harsh. The hidden sodium in these foods is rarely felt immediately, but it builds over months and years, wearing down the body's internal resilience. The simplest act of awareness can change everything. Reading labels, swapping salted butter for unsalted, or seasoning with herbs instead of salt all reduce risk. Many Japanese elders practice shio hikame, a phrase meaning, "go easy on the salt." It isn't an order, it's a gentle reminder to treat the body with respect. By lowering sodium in the morning, the heart begins the day with less strain and greater calm. A balanced breakfast doesn't have to be bland. It can include flavors like ginger, sesame, or citrus that stimulate the senses without overwhelming the system. A single adjustment, less salt in the first meal, gives arteries the relief they need. But not all dangers come from what we eat. Some strike from what we see and feel the moment we open our eyes, invisible emotional triggers that can be just as damaging as sodium itself. Before the first sip of water or the first bite of breakfast, many people reach for something else: their phone. A glowing screen floods the eyes, headlines demand attention, messages ping, and the calm of morning disappears. For an aging heart and brain, this small act can have profound effects. Within seconds, stress hormones surge, heart rate increases, and blood pressure follows. It feels harmless, even routine, but physiologically, it's like sprinting before taking a single breath. The early hours of the day are when cortisol, the body's stress hormone, naturally peaks to help us wake. Adding artificial stress, from news, notifications, or emails, multiplies that response. Studies from the University of Tokyo found that older adults who experienced emotional arousal in the first 30 minutes after waking had significantly higher morning blood pressure readings and more frequent arrhythmic episodes than those who began the day quietly. The body's fight or flight system doesn't distinguish between digital tension and real danger. Japanese mornings take a strikingly different approach. Instead of stimulation, they begin with stillness. Many elders engage in zazen, seated meditation, or simple breathing exercises before speaking or reading. The goal is to bring the mind into harmony with the body's natural rhythm. In small villages, it's common to hear the sound of boiling water for tea before any electronic noise fills the air. This tradition reflects a deep respect for transition, from sleep to wakefulness, from silence to motion. The difference lies in awareness. Western culture often celebrates productivity from the moment the alarm rings. Checking the phone feels efficient, connected, responsible. But the brain and cardiovascular system are still half asleep. When light, information, and emotion rush in all at once, the nervous system floods with adrenaline. For older adults, this repeated jolt can gradually wear down vessel walls and increase vulnerability to stroke. Japanese wisdom teaches the art of pause, the space between actions. That space, even if it lasts only 5 minutes, can reset the entire body. A short breathing ritual, a stretch of silence, or even the act of pouring tea mindfully gives the heart time to stabilize. In those quiet minutes, blood flow evens out, cortisol declines, and clarity returns. Science agrees. Researchers at Kyoto Prefectural University reported that older adults who practiced 5 minutes of quiet breathing before reading or screen use had lower morning cortisol and smoother blood pressure curves throughout the day. Small rituals created measurable protection. Modern life may never be free of screens, but it can be shaped by intention. Turning on the phone 5 or 10 minutes later, greeting the body before the digital world, becomes a daily act of preservation. Yet even when calm is restored, another mistake often slips by unnoticed. One that involves not what we do, but what we forget to do, taking life-saving medications at the right time. Among the most dangerous morning mistakes is not something done wrong, but something left undone: skipping or delaying vital medication. For millions of seniors managing hypertension, diabetes, or heart disease, the early hours are when the body most urgently needs pharmaceutical support. Yet forgetfulness, distraction, or simple routine errors can allow blood pressure and clotting activity to surge unchecked, setting the stage for a stroke. Blood pressure follows a circadian rhythm. It naturally dips at night, then rises sharply upon waking, a phenomenon known as the morning surge. For people with cardiovascular risk, this spike can be lethal if not properly controlled. Antihypertensive or blood-thinning medications are often prescribed to blunt this rise, but timing is critical. Missing even one morning dose means leaving the body defenseless during its most volatile window. In Japan, adherence to medication schedules is treated with remarkable discipline. The cultural principle of Kaizen, continuous improvement through small consistent steps, extends even to health habits. Elders often tie medication routines to fixed daily rituals, taking pills with the first cup of tea, placing them beside the toothbrush, or setting gentle reminders on a household clock. It's not about rigid control, but about respect for rhythm. The same way the sun rises without fail, their medication routine does too. Western studies confirm this importance. Research published in Hypertension Journal found that patients who took blood pressure medication in the morning, consistently and without delay, experienced significantly fewer cardiovascular events than those with irregular schedules. Japanese clinical trials have gone further, exploring chronotherapy, adjusting medication timing to align with each person's biological clock. The conclusion is clear: timing amplifies effectiveness. Still, many older adults hesitate. Some fear dizziness after taking pills on an empty stomach. Others simply forget. But there are gentle ways to adapt. Pairing medication with hydration, that first warm cup of water or tea, reduces irritation and ensures absorption. Using a visible cue, like a small ceramic bowl beside the breakfast table, turns a clinical act into a mindful ritual. The Japanese call this Jizei no Kisetsu, the season of devotion, an acknowledgement that small acts of care, done daily, become sacred. Ignoring medication, however, does the opposite. When blood pressure remains uncontrolled through the morning surge, arteries endure relentless stress. Tiny tears form in the vessel lining, platelets gather, and clots can develop silently. A stroke doesn't announce itself. It waits for the perfect moment, often the unprotected morning. Medication is not a sign of weakness. It's a tool of preservation. Treating it as part of the morning's natural rhythm, alongside stretching, breathing, and nourishment, transforms it from a task into a gift. But even when all these habits align, danger can still build invisibly. Sometimes, it's not a single mistake that harms, but the combination of several, a hidden chain reaction that quietly overloads the body's defenses. Each of the 5 morning mistakes on its own can strain the body, but when 2 or more occur together, the result is far more dangerous. The human cardiovascular system is delicate, and multiple small stressors can act like dominoes, one pushing the next until the balance collapses. This silent chain reaction explains why strokes often appear sudden, even though they're the result of accumulated morning pressures. Picture this common scenario. An older adult wakes abruptly, stretches too fast, skips water, eats a salty breakfast, and checks stressful news before remembering to take medication. None of these actions seem extreme, yet together, they create the perfect physiological storm. Dehydration thickens the blood, sodium draws more water into the vessels, cortisol rises from emotional stress, and unregulated blood pressure surges without medication to buffer it. Within minutes, arteries that were calm during sleep are suddenly under explosive strain. This is how small habits conspire. The body doesn't react to each behavior in isolation, it responds to the sum of them. Scientists from the University of Tokyo call this effect vascular stacking, when multiple mild triggers overlap, magnifying total vascular stress. Their studies showed that elderly participants exposed to combined factors like dehydration, high salt intake, and emotional stress had nearly double the risk of morning hypertension compared to those exposed to only one. In Japan, Daily life is designed to prevent such stacking. Routines are not built randomly, they flow in harmony, each habit supporting the next. Warm hydration prepares the body for gentle motion. Slow movement prepares the mind for calm awareness. Balanced breakfast stabilizes blood pressure, and medication seals the protection. This smooth progression minimizes overlap between stressors, a concept rooted in Jo-Ha-Kyu, a traditional rhythm meaning beginning, break, rapid finish. The principle teaches that life's movements should unfold in measured phases, never all at once. In contrast, Western mornings often compress everything into chaos. Lights, alarms, caffeine, motion, and multitasking collide within the first 10 minutes. For seniors, that compression is dangerous. The body loses its ability to self-regulate when exposed to simultaneous demands. What follows can be silent warning signs: lightheadedness, tightness in the chest, or mild confusion, often dismissed as fatigue. Yet these are the body's cries for balance. Understanding this interaction is liberating. It shows that prevention doesn't always mean doing more. It means doing less at once. A few minutes between rising and stretching, hydration before caffeine, silence before screens, each space creates room for stability. Japanese elders often say, "Isogu nakare," do not hurry. It's a simple command that can save lives. When the morning unfolds in calm sequence, not collision, the heart moves in peace, not panic. And now, with these hidden dangers revealed, it's time to rebuild the morning itself, transforming every small act into protection through the timeless wisdom of Japanese ritual. Rebuilding the morning begins not with grand gestures, but with subtle intention. The Japanese approach to health has always favored gentleness over force, constancy over ambition. By borrowing their wisdom, anyone, especially older adults, can design mornings that restore balance, regulate blood flow, and calm the mind before the day begins. These rituals are not mystical, they are practical, physiological tools, shaped by centuries of observation. The first step is movement, but not the kind that jolts the body awake. Begin with stillness. Sit upright for a minute. Feel the rhythm of your heartbeat, and breathe deeply through the nose. This small pause stabilizes the autonomic nervous system. Then add light movement. Roll the shoulders, rotate wrists and ankles, stretch gently without tension. Japanese elders often follow this with Ragyo Taiso, the national morning exercise routine broadcast across the country since the 1920s. Its slow, rhythmic motions awaken the body without spiking heart rate, keeping blood pressure steady while increasing flexibility. Next comes hydration. A cup of warm water, tea, or miso soup helps thin the blood and rehydrate cells after the long night. This step, practiced daily by Japanese seniors, has measurable effects on circulation. Warm liquids dilate blood vessels, supporting smooth flow and easing cardiac load. For those taking medication, this is the ideal moment, linking hydration with health protection, a ritual that ensures consistency. Breakfast should follow, but with mindfulness. The traditional Japanese meal, rice, fish, and vegetables, is not only balanced in nutrients but gentle in salt and fat content. Even for those outside Japan, the principle remains: low sodium, moderate portions, and warm foods that awaken the digestive system slowly. A handful of berries, oatmeal with sesame, or a boiled egg can replicate the same calm nourishment. The key is not what's eaten but how it's approached, sitting, breathing, and chewing deliberately. Then comes mental preparation. Instead of screens or headlines, a few minutes of quiet reflection can rewire the morning entirely. In Japanese culture, the tea ritual symbolizes this moment, a simple act performed with full attention. The repetitive motion of pouring, holding, and sipping becomes meditation. Scientific studies show that such mindfulness reduces cortisol levels and stabilizes morning blood pressure within weeks. By linking these steps, stillness, gentle motion, hydration, nourishment, mindfulness, and medication, the morning transforms from a period of risk into one of repair. Each habit strengthens the next, just as in Japanese philosophy, where balance is built through harmony rather than effort. This kind of routine doesn't demand perfection, it invites patience. It recognizes aging not as decline, but as refinement, a time when precision matters more than speed. And as these rituals take hold, the body begins to change quietly. Steadier pressure, calmer mind, stronger resilience. What was once the most dangerous time of day becomes a sanctuary for healing. But to truly preserve these gains, one final step remains: reflection, understanding, and commitment to keep the balance alive each morning that follows. As the morning light returns each day, it brings both risk and opportunity. The choices made in those first quiet minutes shape the hours that follow, determining whether the body moves in harmony or in strain. By now, the hidden dangers are clear: the sudden stretch, the skipped water, the salty meal, the screen stress, the forgotten pill. Yet their opposites, drawn from Japanese wisdom, offer a gentle blueprint for protection and longevity. Let's pause to reflect. You've learned how slow, mindful movement prevents vascular shock, how warm hydration thins the blood and wakes the heart safely, how balanced, low-sodium breakfasts preserve vessel integrity, how calm attention before screens quiets the nervous system, and how medication, taken with care and regularity, shields the body from the morning surge. Each action may seem small, but together they form a rhythm, a quiet symphony of health. The Japanese philosophy of WA, meaning harmony, ties it all together. Health is not a battle to win, but a relationship to nurture. The elders of Okinawa, many living well past 100, embody this principle every morning. They don't chase youth, they honor rhythm. Their routines are not hurried or forced, yet every gesture, a sip of tea, a breath of morning air, has intention. Science calls it regulation. They call it respect. For seniors everywhere, this mindset can transform daily life. Instead of waking to noise and rush, imagine beginning with gratitude. A moment of silence, a slow rise, a conscious breath. Replace anxiety with awareness, speed with flow. These are not foreign practices. They are human instincts remembered through culture. Even one change sustained each morning can lower pressure, improve mood, and protect the mind from decline. Consistency is the secret. In Japan, people speak of Nichijo no Chie, the wisdom of the everyday. It means that the ordinary, done correctly, becomes extraordinary over time. The 5 hidden mistakes that once threatened your health can become the 5 silent strengths that sustain it. Your mornings can shift from danger to defense, from routine to ritual. So, take this wisdom and make it your own. Drink water before words. Move slowly before stretching. Eat consciously. Breathe intentionally. And treat medication as an ally, not an afterthought. The reward is not just lower risk, it's peace, steadiness, and the confidence that your body and mind are aligned with purpose. Now, look inward. What part of your morning feels rushed or reactive? Which of these 5 lessons could you begin tomorrow? Change doesn't require force, it begins with awareness. Thank you for walking through this journey of discovery and renewal. Your mornings hold the power to protect your heart, your brain, and your years ahead. Live them gently, live them wisely, and let each sunrise become an act of healing.